What can a woman do to truly blow your mind in the bedroom? You'll blow my mind outside of the bedroom, in a relationship as a whole.
That wasn't the question, though.
That's the truth. If you sleep with enough women, just like if you sleep with enough men, there's no move. Sex is not a complicated operation, right? There's no move that's going to be like, wow, I've never seen this before. I've never seen this before, and my mind is blown.
No, like just
If you think the way you keep a man happy is to move your in a particular way on top of his as opposed to behave in a way which is respectful to him out in the real world, and for him to know he has you and your loyalty regardless of what's going to come up, all the problems he's going to come into in his life, then you're wrong.
It's very hard, I think, for a lot of men to accept being in a position of constant disrespect. I'll tell you this now. If I had to choose a long-lasting marriage with a woman who loved me or a woman who truly respected me, I might choose respect over love. Even though they're the same thing for a woman, because she loves you, she respects you by default. But if I had to choose, I'd choose respect. I've been through too much and worked too hard and go through too much in day-to-day life to come home to my house and be having battles over asinine bullshit. I take care of you and I love you with all of my heart. I would die for you. If someone broke into this house, I would engage the invader and die. It's disrespect that will drive a man to the most heinous of crimes.
Don't you feel like you get to a point in your life where there's something more than that? Don't you feel like, and maybe I'm going to sound like a romantic, don't you feel like you get to a position in your life where you'd rather have a girl who you truly love and she truly loves you, and it doesn't matter what she does because you know she really loves you and she's trying her best?
Where are those hats?
Of sex is a connection between two people, and I think having a genuine connection between two people is worth more than the sex.
Sex in and of itself is boring. Any man who sits and says that sex is great or sex is fun just clearly hasn't had enough sex, because sex is boring. Sex is a chore. Sex is like food. You don't really care unless you're really hungry, and then you eat and then you don't care again. Men who are super interested in sex or sexual fantasies of these things are men who are semi-deprived. If you have an abundance of food, if you have a fridge full of food all the time, you don't eat all the time. Sometimes you just don't want to. It's always there, right? But if you're starving, as soon as food appears, you're all over it. It's the same with sex. Any dude is like, wow, threesome, okay, I need it. It's a guy who's deprived. A guy who has as much as he wants all the time ain't gonna be really that interested.
Here's the truth about male-female relationships. Women fuck men they respect. That's it. They don't fuck men they like. They don't fuck men they love. They fuck men they respect. If she loves you and likes you and doesn't respect you, she will not have sex with you. I have women who respect me and fucking hate me, but they're here every time I call. So how do you make women respect you? Well, first you have to be worthy of respect as an individual. There's no hack. If you're worthy of respect, you're worthy of respect. But secondly, you cannot allow blatant disrespect. So if you allow her to blatantly disrespect you and you tolerate that, then you're setting a precedent, which means, well, why would I respect this guy in the first place?
Wouldn't you rather have a girlfriend who truly loves you, is absolutely loyal to you, like no matter what happens, she's going to be there for you. You can catch a case 6 months, she's outside waiting for you. She wants to satisfy you, and you know she cares about you. Yeah. Wouldn't you be like, well, I don't care that she can't take dick, because that's actually a quality woman, which is rare in the world today. But I am genuinely uninterested in sleeping with a woman who I don't have a connection with. If a girl said to me, I don't love you at all, I don't feel anything for you at all, I don't want to sleep with you, but I will, I would say no. This act in and of itself is okay. We've all had sex, right? Do you really need to fuck somebody who doesn't give a shit about you at all?
If you're in love, you might want sex more often. You might be hungry more often. My point is that if you're someone who goes through life and only talks about and cares about food, it's a bit weird. Same thing with sex. Sex is something that happens, and it happens between people who love each other, and it's a great thing, but it's not the be-all and end-all of life. It's really not that great. I don't think sex is the most stimulating and interesting thing in the world. Doesn't matter who the girl is, doesn't matter if you love her or not. I don't think it's the greatest, best thing in the world.
A man primarily gives his attention to a female to get sex, and she gives him sex back to get the attention. That's the swap, right? So if I'm a dude and I want sex from a girl, I give her attention, I talk to her, I hang out with her, I spend time with her, eventually I get the sex. That's how it works. But the higher value you are as a man, the more valuable your attention is, the more valuable your time is, the less you have to give. It's like potency, right? So I can give 5 minutes to a chick, And that's worth 2 weeks of some other dude's time. But that's the reality. So where you are on the scale is just basically how much of your time you have to give. Now, you can still give all your time to a woman, treat her like a queen, be respected by your peers. She can be happy with you. I'm not saying she will be any. In fact, I'll argue she'll be happier with that man than she'll be with a fucking guy like me. I'm not even out here saying I'll make chicks happy. I'm not even saying that. I'm saying that she'll get the amount of time that she's going to want from that man. The amount of attention is linked to his status. But at a true high-level status of man, it's 2 DMs.
You need to understand your boundaries and expectations as a man, and you have to set them, and you have to make sure she complies and sticks to them. And if she doesn't, you're going to have to find somebody else and say, oh, Tate, but I don't want to be a playboy like you. I say, look, if you want to be happily married, the best thing you can be first is a playboy.
Yeah.
The best thing you can do, because you're going to learn a whole bunch about women. You're going to have a whole bunch of choices to choose for a wife. The key is this as a man, and this is the bottom line.
We live in a world now, right, where we have a lot of narratives which are being broken down and destroyed in real time. And I think it's very, very healthy for men and women to look at sex as an act that happens between people who at least like each other. The idea that I don't like them at all, but as long as they can suck this way, then it's okay. I don't give a right? If a girl genuinely loves me with all her heart and gives me a fucking terrible blowjob, I'm still gonna be like, well, you love me, I love you, it is what it is. It's more, life's more important than blowjobs and fucking blowing your load.
What if it's
this
not
is the
love?
truth.
Men just want to feel respected. It's not that hard to do. If you truly, I suggest to anyone watching this, if you truly love your man, it would be so easy for you to just make him feel respected. It doesn't even take actions. You can do it with basic words. Ask his opinion on something, big him up once in a while. And because we're supposed to be supermen and we purport ourselves as supermen and we're stoic, but we talked earlier about how we still feel everything. So when you're a strong man, especially, they're like, he's fine. He's fine. He's fine. He's fine. Be nice to the dude. You'd be surprised how far you get. But this is why I think most men walk out of marriages, because they're like, you know what? I'm not getting any respect here. I get more respect from this dickhead stripper, 18-year-old hoe, for throwing money at her than I do giving money to my own wife. Where am I being respected? Well, at least she's smiling at me. She ain't smiled at me in years. And it gets to a point where it's just like, well, I want to feel respected now. I'm working my ass off. I'm out here in the streets. I'm going to the sewers and shit. Where's my respect at? And that's what I think it really comes down to. I think men function on respect.
Sexual exclusivity is how a female shows primarily that she's interested in a man. He's the only man who has sexual access to me because I can get pregnant, and this man is the only man who can do it. That's how it's done. A man, yes, I'm not saying all men can cheat. I'm not saying all men should cheat. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if I truly love a woman, she won't sit there and go, he shows me his love because he doesn't fuck anyone else. She'll sit there and go, he shows me his love because my bills are paid, I'm in a Bentley, I fly private, I go to Dubai anytime I want, I have a Chanel bag. And I'm not talking about just money, I'm talking about resource and a lifestyle as a whole. This is not just me, this is the world and most of the world today. If you go to Moscow and you find a big G, a rich guy, right? He has his wife, she's pushing a Bentley, she has a kid, she's living in a mansion, whatever. When he goes to the club with his boys, you think he ain't with 19-year-old strippers? Of course he fucking is.
Can I ask
But
you-
she's just like, whatever, don't care, I'm the one who has the money, don't give a shit.
Women are the gatekeepers, not men. If it's not love, you shouldn't be fucking him anyway. This is the reality of the world. Just because the modern world told you different, you shouldn't be fucking a man you don't love. That's the first fucking thing. You shouldn't be
relax.
sleeping with him. No, but it's true.